You don't notice it at first. That's the strange part. Nothing explodes, nothing falls apart, no big moment announces itself. But one day, you realize something quietly stopped controlling you. The thing that used to tighten your chest, the thought that used to spiral, the need to explain yourself to people who were never really listening. It loosens. And that's how you know something has shifted. You're not suddenly fearless. You're not suddenly certain. You're just steadier. You begin to pause instead of react. You listen to yourself before you listen to the noise. You don't rush to fill silence with answers you don't fully believe yet. There's a subtle confidence forming here, not the loud kind, the kind that comes from knowing you'll be okay even if things stay unclear for a while. You start to notice patterns, how certain situations drain you, how others quietly restore you. And instead of forcing balance, you adjust. You don't dramatize it, you don't announce it, you just choose differently. You're also realizing that not every opportunity is meant to be taken. Some are meant to be declined without guilt. Some are meant to be observed, not chased. That understanding changes how you move. You stop over-preparing for conversations. You stop rehearsing outcomes. You stop carrying responsibility that was never yours. You don't feel smaller. You feel lighter. There's a growing trust in your ability to handle what comes next, even if you don't know what that is yet. And that trust becomes the foundation. This phase isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to yourself without the constant pressure to perform. Something real is starting here. Not complete, not resolved, but honest. And that honesty is changing everything quietly. As this steadiness grows, you begin to notice how differently you hold yourself. You don't brace for impact the way you used to. You don't assume things will fall apart if you relax. You allow moments to unfold without trying to manage them in advance. There's a new relationship forming between you and uncertainty. It no longer feels like danger. It feels like space. Space to respond instead of react. Space to listen before deciding. Space to let life show you what it's actually offering. You're also becoming more honest with yourself about what you want, about what you can give, about what no longer fits, even if it once did. You stop pretending you're okay with things that quietly drain you. You stop negotiating with discomfort just to keep the peace. And that honesty brings relief. You don't explain every choice anymore. You don't justify every boundary. You trust that alignment doesn't require approval. You're learning that some clarity arrives only after you stop forcing answers. So you wait, not passively, intentionally. You stay open without staying anxious. You stay engaged without overcommitting. That balance didn't come naturally. It was built through moments where you chose self-respect over familiarity. You're also noticing how your body responds when something is right. There's ease, a calm focus, a sense of this makes sense, even if it's unfamiliar. You pay attention to that now. This phase isn't dramatic, it's quiet, but it's reshaping how you move through everything. You're no longer trying to become ready. You're realizing you already are. And from here, whatever unfolds next will meet you differently. Not because life changed overnight, but because you did. With this clarity settling in, you start trusting your internal timing more than external pressure. You don't rush just because something is available. You don't pause just because someone else hesitates. You move when it feels aligned, and when it doesn't, you wait without guilt. That shift changes how you experience your days. Time feels less like something chasing you and more like something you're moving with. You also notice how much quieter your mind has become. Not empty, focused. You're not rehearsing conversations that may never happen. You're not replaying moments that already passed. You stay closer to what's actually in front of you. There's strength in that presence. You're also becoming more selective with your energy. You don't give it away just to feel needed. You don't overextend to avoid discomfort. You understand now that availability is a choice, not an obligation. That awareness creates space for better connections, not more, better. You allow people to meet you where you are. Some do, some don't. You don't force alignment, you let it reveal itself. There's also a deeper acceptance forming of who you are right now, not who you think you should already be. You stop measuring yourself against imagined timelines. You stop judging your pace as slow or fast. You see it as precise. This phase is teaching you trust, not in outcomes, but in your ability to navigate them. You don't need guarantees anymore. You need resonance. And you're getting better at recognizing it. Something is continuing to organize itself beneath all this, still unfolding, still open, not finished yet. As this trust strengthens, you become less reactive to what's unfinished. You don't interpret uncertainty as failure anymore. You recognize it as a phase that carries information. You're learning to sit with questions without turning them into pressure. You let answers arrive in pieces instead of demanding they show up all at once. There's a steadiness in that patience. You also notice how your attention has shifted. You're less focused on what could go wrong and more aware of what feels right now. You don't chase motivation, you follow consistency. You show up without forcing momentum, and somehow things still move. You're beginning to understand that stability isn't built by intensity. It's built by repeatable choices, small ones, honest ones. You choose rest when your body asks for it. You choose clarity over approval. You choose depth over noise. That discernment simplifies your world. You're also less attached to being understood immediately. You let people misunderstand if it means staying aligned. You trust that what's real doesn't need constant explanation. There's a quiet maturity forming here, not because you have answers, but because you're no longer afraid of not having them. You allow things to evolve. You allow yourself to evolve with them. This phase isn't asking you to decide everything. It's asking you to stay present enough to notice when something is ready. Ready to begin, ready to end, ready to change form. You don't rush those moments anymore. You meet them. Something continues to take shape beneath the surface, still unfolding, still incomplete, but steady and moving forward. And this is where it settles, not as a conclusion, but as a grounding. You're no longer waiting for proof that you're on the right path. You feel it in how your choices no longer exhaust you, in how your silence feels intentional, not empty, in how your pace finally belongs to you. You understand now that alignment doesn't announce itself, it confirms itself quietly, through ease, through clarity, through the absence of inner resistance. You don't need to rush what's unfolding. You don't need to cling to what's fading. You trust yourself to recognize the difference. What's meant to stay feels supportive. What's meant to leave releases without chaos. And what's meant to arrive will meet you where you are, steady, present, and aware. You didn't lose time. You didn't fall behind. You were becoming someone capable of holding what comes next without abandoning yourself. This phase didn't make you distant. It made you rooted. It didn't take anything away. It returned you to yourself. And from here, you move forward without forcing, without fear, without needing to be anything other than aligned. That's enough.